Hey, thanks for coming back to the channel. This week I got a great question from Michael T out in San Diego, California, and I wanted to take a couple minutes and answer it here for everybody because I think there might be some other people that feel like they're in the same boat. So Michael asked, being a freelance sound engineer, sometimes work goes on and off throughout the season, and most of the live sound is on the weekends and is rare on weekdays. For this situation, what are your second skills or jobs that allow you to fill in those empty times and stay busy all year round? And that's a great question, and one that I'm sure a lot of folks have struggled with. Now, I don't know you or your market specifically well, but I do know that San Diego is a major city where things are happening. My first thought is that if you're experiencing work that's mostly on the weekends and mostly seasonal, I'm guessing you're probably doing a lot of music-based work, maybe special events, and probably some weddings. Now, I've been there. I got into the business doing weddings, and it took me a long time to be able to figure out how to go from that steady quality weekend work to a living wage throughout the whole week. That's RFK Stadium there for anybody who may have seen a show there or a game over the years. It's pretty awesome place. For me, things began to make a lot more sense when I started to realize that audio and sound happen in hundreds of different ways every single day all around the world, and not just in the context of live music. There isn't a city in this country that doesn't have press conferences, schools, businesses doing marketing campaigns or special events happening every single day. New and old businesses, restaurants, public spaces, houses of worship, all with different audiovisual needs and all with different problems that they might need your help in figuring out. As a freelancer, you've got to think more like a business. You've got to ask yourself seriously, what services are you offering to your customers? How do those services that you're offering line up with the demands of your local market? If you can take stock of your skill set and then have an honest look at the market in your area and see how your skill set lines up with those market needs, you can start to align yourself better with what the people in your area actually need from you. This is not a problem that's unique to your location either. I've met so many people in similar situations. Having built your business on doing live sound for bands and music events, you start hitting a wall where you can only be in one place on any given Saturday night. So what other work is out there? Just taking San Diego as an example, doing a quick Google search, there's 28 other companies doing special events production in your local area. That's not a bad sized market. Looking at just AV companies, there's some very big players too. PSAV has an office there, and they're a great source of work for freelancers. And Freeman has an office there, and they hire an absolute ton of freelancers. In fact, they've got ads up right now looking for freelancers in your area. Even Club Med has an ad up right now, and they're looking for a freelance sound technician. So as you can see, with only a couple of minutes of research, you can definitely find that there's work in your area. And I guarantee that those big production houses are not sitting around all week waiting for Saturday to make their money. But now comes the hard part, and that's being honest with yourself. Take some time to go through those job listings. Go through every one of the websites you can find for a company doing AV in your area and see if they have any job listings. Sometimes you've got to look all the way down at the bottom of their website to find them, but oftentimes you will find those listings. You can jump onto websites like ZipRecruiter and find more listings. That's where Club Med and Freeman are both posting right now looking for technicians in San Diego. So read through all those listings. Doesn't matter what they're for as long as they're somewhat applicable. And read through them all, and it doesn't matter who you are. There's going to be stuff in those job listings that you don't qualify for. There's going to be skills you don't have. There's going to be experience you haven't got yet. And that's fine. It really doesn't matter. It especially doesn't matter that some of these jobs might be listed at $30,000 a year and 80 hours a week. We don't care about that. We're freelancers. What we're looking for here is all the stuff that you don't qualify for. We're definitely not looking for jobs that we can get right now. We're specifically looking to see what the market demands in your area. So all the stuff that you don't qualify for, that's the stuff you got to work on. So maybe where you live, let's talk about a couple of examples. Maybe where you live, installations are big. Maybe there's a big art gallery scene or a big installation, corporate installation scene where you are. And maybe you're just a few qualifications. You can go and take some qualifications, get some certifications, short of being able to apply for those positions and dominate some of those markets. Around here, restaurant programmers seem to always be in demand. So maybe a couple of quick certifications could get you more competitive in that space. With companies like Freeman and PSAV, I would have to imagine there is a lot of corporate work going on in your area. So maybe there's some stuff that you can work on that those job listings suggest that you might be a little less proficient at or a little less confident at that can help you get into the corporate work. Maybe it's learning a little bit more video that can supplement your audio knowledge. Maybe it's learning something like PowerPoint, but you get the idea. In my city, for instance, a lot of the weekday work is press and news-based work, and I absolutely had to learn some new skills to be able to start working in that field. But the fundamentals of audio and video and what we do in production never change. You can learn some different terminology and some new skills and apply what you already know to business that's happening where you are. You can take the production and audio knowledge you already have and apply it to work that's actually happening in your area every single day. As long as you're able to identify the needs of the market locally and then work to meet those needs, you're going to have a really great chance at being competitive. I've known so many younger folks who only want to see live sound in the context of live music and events and all the fun that goes along with that kind of work. The reality, though, is if you want to make professional money in most cities, you're going to at least have to start out with a bit more diversity in your skill set. You've got to be constantly analytical of the market you live in and brutally honest with yourself as to how you fit into that market. You're going to have to be willing to make changes to either your abilities or your location in order to align with the market and gain any sort of traction. If you can do that, you can then build your freelance business by being somebody people trust to fill in gaps in their staffing. When they have a need, when the marketplace has a need, you're able to respond to that, and you'll build your business a lot quicker having that kind of outlook. And you'll hopefully find yourself in a place with more consistent and diverse work from week to week. This brings us to the next step of actually reaching out and trying to get work once you've identified it. The amount of people I've met who are looking for work but can't clearly articulate what it is they're selling is a little bit crazy. Imagine being an electrician and all you could tell a potential customer is that you do electrical work or you're good at hooking things up with wires. That wouldn't really get you very far, but it's kind of the same thing as when I get approached by somebody new to the area or new to freelancing and they tell me that they've got great ears or they're really great at mixing or the always popular, I make great beats in my studio kind of thing. And those are all things I have actually heard from people looking for freelance work who have approached me on the job. Like if you've got the courage to approach somebody out of the blue looking for work, you've got to come with a little bit more than just I do sound for bands or I've got good ears. Now, I'm not suggesting that approaching technicians on jobs is a good idea, but I will tell you the times when folks have come up to me and opened that conversation with an intelligent comment or an intelligent question or something, a question about something we're doing on the job that relates to something they've been studying or learning or just heard about. Those people, I don't mind stopping if time permits and talking to them. And it oftentimes we'll end up exchanging information, and I've got no problem whatsoever following up with them and helping point them in any direction I can to help them get to the next step. And that's not because I like getting people work. It's because they came across as a serious fellow audio nerd, and people want to help people that they relate to, not people that they feel are just using them as a resource. So when you do meet somebody for the first time that could possibly give you future work, you've got to, above everything else, find a way to make a connection. And the easiest way to do that, holy So when you do have the opportunity to meet somebody for the first time that might potentially be able to give you some work down the road, what you've got to do more than anything else is make a connection. And the easiest way to do that is not to try to learn some slick sales pitch. The best way to make that connection is to actually be engaged and passionate and interested in the same things as them. And it's really not that hard. They're out there putting themselves and their needs out there all over the place for you to find out. You can easily find out in your market what skills are making money and what skills are needed, and hopefully tailor your skill set to meet those. If you don't, you're just really setting yourself up for a hard time. And if you find that the skills that are needed in your area just don't line up at all with what you want to do or what you're best at, that's fine, but that's when you really need to start considering changing location. The work is definitely out there. It just depends on how well you can line up your skills with your market's demands. I'll leave it there for now, but in a future video coming up soon, we'll talk about how to actually approach people once you've identified that there is work, and how to approach them as a freelancer, even if they have a job listing, almost especially if they have job listings out there for permanent jobs, how you can approach them as a freelancer confidently and get them to understand that you can fill those needs. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to head over to the website and check out all the new stuff there. We've got stickers back in stock, and the handmade Audio Engineer notebooks have been selling really quickly, but I've finally caught up with making enough of those. So order yours today. Thanks always to the folks who choose to support the channel directly on Patreon, and to those who follow the affiliate links below and through the website. Every dollar of your support helps grow this community, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Thanks again. See you next time.